What's up, YouTube? We've got Andy here. He's going to be showing us all his Zing deck profile. So why don't you go ahead and say a few words about the deck?
So I've been running the deck for about a month now, and I've been doing relatively well. It's a couple locals. I topped both, and I'm having a good time with the deck. It's relatively competitive. It's not definitely not top tier, but it's definitely fun and it's worth the money you put into the deck.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the monsters. 3 Yugioh, really good effect.
Like at 3?
Yep, running it at 3 because if you get this off first turn, you get a bunch of combos, you get a bunch of pluses too. So Swanee, 3 Swanee, 1900 beater.
Yep.
I like the 1900 attack, and I like the effect when it's synchroed, where you gain 500 attack. Comes in handy. So Beyond.
Let's just take a second and admire your mat real quick first, too.
Yeah, thanks. Treatmore.
It's pretty ugly. I hate it.
What'd you say?
It's nasty, just like him.
Oh.
Another good offensive monster. 1600 attack. Gets over a lot of stuff. 2 Chi-1. I don't run 3 because I don't like seeing it too often. It does have a good effect in the grave, and the monsters you bring out with it can be in either attack or defense, which is pretty good too. 2 Bixie, being impervious to traps, especially with the traps I run, is pretty useful. And 2000 defense is nothing to joke about. Zefranu, 2600 defense. Search out a Yang Zing card, which is very useful.
Yeah, creation or path.
Creation or path, either draw power, more plays. Pu Lao, arguably the worst one.
Yeah, but it's important to pull out, so.
Yeah,
Full on game.
it could be useful. For the spells, 3 Upstart. I like 3 Upstart. Adds consistency, lets me get into my plays faster. I don't have a bunch of other cards in the way. 2 Path, once again, speeds up the deck, which it does need a little bit of speeding up because it's not one of the fastest, especially in comparison to the other meta decks.
Yeah, it really relies on its normal summons.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
Pot of Duality. I like it just for the first turn play where I could set a monster, use Pot of Duality, and maybe get a good trap that I want or something that I could use in the future.
Yeah, it definitely adds some consistency.
Yep, more consistency. Let me get to my plays faster. 2 MST, self-explanatory. I like it against
self-explanatory.
I like it against pendulums. I do like it against floodgates, and if you chain it to Wavering Guy, I do like that it makes them minus. 2 Dark Hole.
Why?
If I destroy my monsters, they get pretty good effects off of it. So that's that.
No Raigeki?
No, I don't need it because I also run a Torrential.
Right.
Nice.
So Soul Charge. If they do happen to negate Yugioh, which they most likely will if they can because of how good its effect is, you're gonna have 2 monsters in the grave that are useless, and so Soul Charge would be nice to go into after having that effect negated. 3 Creation. Obviously, this is one of the best traps in the deck. One of the best
card
tracks
in the deck. Gosh.
Yeah, one of the best cards
If you
in the deck.
run
in
less
general.
than 3 of these, you should just like.
Fewer.
If you run fewer than 3
Yeah,
of these,
you're not going to run
apologize.
fewer than 3 for this card.
Just stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
This and any monster will ensure that you can make plays in the future.
That's what
2
happened to
time
us
space.
5 years ago. We stopped running 3 of those and we just quit.
Yep.
That was pretty funny.
2 time space trap hole. Gets rid of pendulums, XYZ, synchros, etc. Skill drain and lose 1 turn
Oh yeah.
for the effect negation.
This combos well with Big C.
Yeah, it comes well with Big C. When I synchro something with Big C, it's unaffected by either of these, and so that's pretty good. The only downside to this is I can activate it only if I control no special summoned, but another upside to it is when I do special summon my monsters out of the deck, when they float, they do come in defense position, so that's also helpful so I don't take damage. Oasis, because it's helpful whether it's MST'd or whether it's not MST'd. I run it at 1 just because Path does bring monsters back into my deck, and a lot of the time I won't actually have any in the grave. So just at 1, so it isn't ever dead. Finally, Bottomless, Torrential, and Vanities.
Staple traps.
Yep, stable traps, quick monster elimination.
No solemn?
No solemn. I don't like paying life points this format, especially when it's this fast. I don't want to lose any life points by my own card effects. So for the extra deck, Castell. Sorry. 1 Castell. I can only make it with 2 Swannies, so it's not the most ideal, but it does eliminate Floodgates or any face-up card I need to get rid of. Herald of the Arclight. Great combo in the deck where you can bring out a Boxia and a Herald of the Arclight.
Try one.
Yeah, and you can bring this out where it can't be destroyed by battle, which means that you're automatically going to get a negation no matter what. High Speed Roid Chanbara. It can attack twice, and it gains 200 attack when it attacks. If I synchro it out with Swanee, it's going to gain 500 attack. So that makes it a 2700 beater that can attack twice. Good in getting out quick OTKs if possible.
Did you steal that card from my binder?
Yeah, I stole that card for you, dude.
Gosh.
So Yugioh Guardian, 2800 with Swanee. It's going to be 33. Get over any Cosmo, get over pretty much anything, and then you steal it. So that's tight.
Not the Cosmo, but whatever.
Yeah, not the Cosmo, of course. Vulcan.
Oh, this card's so good.
Every card in this, most of the monsters in this deck have an effect where they can be used as synchro material with other Yang Zing monsters on your opponent's turn. So if I synchro into Vulcan on my opponent's turn, I could potentially stop one of their plays, and I could potentially recycle a card by returning one to my hand. Black Rose, I've yet to go into this in this deck, but it's always nice to have a card
option.
where you can, it'll guarantee pretty much blow up the pendulum zones and every monster on the field. Yazi, can't be targeted. Great effects when it's destroyed. Has the same effect as the other Yang Zings, where you bring another monster. It can pop a card, and if you bring it out with certain cards, you can also make it so that it can't be destroyed by battle or by traps, unaffected by traps. So that's useful. Scarlight, one of the best level 8s in the game. Essentially another dark hole of sorts. Gets rid of Cosmo monsters. Burns for a little bit of damage, and if I do end up destroying some of my monsters, then I am going to inflict more damage, and I'm going to get their effects after it resolves. Beals, I have the ability to bring this out due to Jaito being dark, and why not run Beals? Void Ogre, maybe one of the cards I like the least, because often I have cards in my hand that I can't get rid of, like monsters. But nonetheless, 3000 attack and great effect. 2 Boxia. The best card you probably want to go into in this deck, just because shuffling into your opponent's deck is invaluable, and his other effect is also great, and it lets you combo into the combo that I was talking about, where you can bring out Herald. Chao Feng, in many times it's a win condition. You could bring it out, and it can be invulnerable to like a million different things, and your opponent's effects are nullified. Trish, obviously, amazing card. Doesn't target. Leo, decent card. Can't be targeted unless it's during your main phase 2.
Just a beater.
But yeah, pretty big beater. Not that hard to go into. For my side, I got Chimera Tech and 2 Cyber Dragons. For the Cosmo matchup, I like it better than a lot of other cards you can side, just because it gets rid of their monsters and sends them to the grave rather than banishing them. 2 Flying Sea, so that I can stop XYZ heavy decks with effects that are dangerous to my deck, like Abyss Dweller and Castel. Majesty's Fiend, good against decks like Perform Mages and potentially
Everything.
Everything.
yeah, pretty much everything. Okay, side frames especially.
Yeah, gosh.
Imperial Iron Wall, I would
Power
run
Domes.
more.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Why is this so ugly?
Yeah, this one's ugly and old. In fact, it's so ancient, it says First Ed on top of the effect. So you pretty much got to run this in your side deck, if possible. 2 Fairy Wind. Also self-explanatory. Get rid of Pendulum Scales. Yeah, get rid of Pendulum Scales and Floodgates. I'd rather side that than MSTs, or another MST. Breakthrough, I don't main it because a lot of cards can be targeted this format. So
But
a lot of
so
times
hot.
I find it dead. Yeah, it's a very attractive card. Unfortunately, it's not the most viable, so I can side it in against decks that aren't affected by, or that can be targeted rather. Finally, 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors. Doesn't affect me too much, Chi-Wen being the only thing, and maybe Chao Feng and Baxia, but I can work around that.
Well, you've got Big C, so that's gonna.
Yes, Big C, of course. But essentially, it'll stop tellers, it'll stop as many cards in the Perform Mage engine, and Cosmos, of course.
So, is there anything that you would like to change in your extra or main deck?
As of now, there isn't much I'd like to change. I still have to work on the traps a little bit more to see if there's a balance that I like more. Time space isn't always the best. I might cut that down to 1, and maybe add 1 more lose 1 turn because it wasn't as bad as I thought when I ran it at 1.
Yeah.
And maybe bump MST to 3. So that might be some of the only changes I might make in this deck.
Also,
Other
how's
than that, it ran quite how I wanted it to.
that's good. And how's Manchester United doing?
Manchester United, not one of my favorite teams, but one of my favorite players plays for them, so I have to represent them. Yep.
Schweinsteiger.
And I'm also representing Magic the Gathering. No, the Orlando Magic. Yep. Thank you. Team Kage is signing out.